friends, hello, it's Monday. Let's talk about what's going on here. What a weird little day we had here in the market, but I think it's pretty interesting what happened here. So talk about some stocks here, what we're following, what we're talking about, what I've been yapping about, what a lot of people have been talking about here. But I thought it was a very interesting day, but honestly a really good day. So let's go right into, let's talk about Palantir here real fast. This is Palantir because I don't want to cover too much. There's certain things that did happen here today with Palantir where pre-market Palantir was out of control. I mean, it was just out of control. It flushed over $80. It was like, I think it was like 84, 85 when I caught it. But it was like early into the morning. It was like going crazy. And a lot of you were messaging me about it. So, that happened, then it just immediately started to sell off, and then we had an article. I think there was like 2 articles released today. Not that this is a big deal, but it's kind of just background noise at this point, where it was kind of some negative articles with people, like 2 analysts came out and said, like, you know, I don't think Palantir is going to do much more. I don't care. This is background noise. I wouldn't pay attention to that. But something did happen today that was encouraging that I caught. I watched a few this week, but one particular thing today I watched with Alex Karp. I watched the interview that he gave. You know, it was encouraging. It's encouraging to have, you know, be investing in a stock, in a company that is in the massive growth opportunity, like right now that you're in, but also a situation where you have a CEO who is very innovative, you know, and just moving forward and caught up in what they do and what they love to do. It's almost like an Elon Musk thing, kind of, you know, when you're investing in Tesla, you're investing in Elon and everything he's kind of attached to. But talking about Palantir and Alex Karp, you know, Alex is very much under the umbrella of, you know, thinking of, he plainly says, like, he loves his country. He thinks the United States, he says the United States is the leader in AI, that Europe is really dropped the ball. They don't care about it. They're not pushing it like we aggressively like we are. And that's why you're seeing these companies in the United States just take over in what is going to dominate into the new year here, with the new year, the next 5 years, 10 years outlook of the next decade when it comes to markets and technology, that, you know, AI is about to run more than people can even fathom right now in their mind. And you know, it's just really encouraging to hear him talk about the progression, not just Palantir, but just AI in general. So I think that's where a lot of people's mind is right now. You know, if how much capital can I push into this AI movement, you know, like as soon as possible, so I start catching a lot of these companies. And, you know, even listen, when we talk about Palantir going to $100, that's not that big of a deal. I don't, there's not a lot of people still at this point doubting and arguing that Palantir is not going to make $100. It's just kind of like, might be by January, maybe February at the latest, we'll be at $100. So the situation with that right now is that Palantir is doing great. We had a little bit of sell-off today because there was such a massive push today. So we're in the mid $70 range. Listen, we weren't having this conversation last week. Last week we were, you know, at, you know, $60. Okay, and now, well, we were at 70 then too. But you know, just here, what was it? December 5th. Yeah. Pretty much last week we were just getting into $70, and now we're toppling in here at high 70s, getting to low 80s, and now we had a little bit of sell-off today. So we're still in a very amazing place with Palantir here, and we're just going to continue to see growth here with Palantir. It's not going to stop. Listen, these are those days that happen today where you need to consider it a blessing, where Palantir sold off. And as crazy it is to say that Palantir has had a sell-off here at $73, you know, that's just what it is right now. That you got to pay to play at this point, and it's going to continue. It's going to progress. Every time you're going to see push-off, you're going to see a little bit sell-off. Today we had a little more sell-off than usual, which I think it's opportunity. But you're going to see it get ate up. It's going to continue to get ate up. And that's just what's going to happen here. So if you're worrying that Palantir sold off today, you're like, oh my God, like, and you know, you read these articles. The articles out there, you can read them. It's just background noise. I can't tell you how many companies that I've invested in over the years that have had articles like that out of nowhere. And I will say this, and this may be my crazy part of me here too, but I've seen this a lot in the market and in the media, where I do believe that things don't happen by coincidence with these articles that are released and then the stock drops. I am a little bit of a conspiracy theory myself that these articles are hit pieces and then people swoop in and buy the stock at a cheap price and then watch tomorrow the stock will rise up again. So call me crazy. That's just I've seen this multiple times, and I think a lot of you have too if you follow the market and certain stocks anytime, in any length of time here. So that's really all I want to say about Palantir. I don't want to spend too much more time on Palantir. Palantir is projected to do amazing things, great things, and that's something you should be excited about. And I had somebody message me today and say, like, should I buy Palantir today? What's happening? I said, absolutely, you should buy Palantir. I think they bought one share, which one whole share of Palantir. That's awesome. Good for you. That's great. You might be thanking God, in 5 years you bought that one stock, that one share of Palantir. It may be one of the best moves you ever make. So with that, I want to go right into SoundHound and talk about BigBear.ai for 1 second. SoundHound sold off today, but still SoundHound is holding this high $14 mark, which is insane. I mean, this is absolutely ludicrous that SoundHound has a strong hold on it right now, where it's holding this high position. I think this is a situation where we're watching right now. I think a lot of people sold out at 12, 13, low 14, maybe when it flushed over 15 here. Even this morning, SoundHound was moving. It was flushed over $15, and then it sold off a little bit today, but still, not a lot of wiggle room here with what's going on. So I'm curious to see if SoundHound can have a sell-off here. It hasn't sold off. I mean, this is not sell-off. It was in the red today, but that's because it was so much in the green on Friday, over 15, and then even pre-market this morning. So I'm curious to see what SoundHound can pull back here too. I'm honestly looking for a pullback to around $11 to $12, $9 being the max. And if it can hold somewhere from a $9 to $12 range, I think that's absolutely amazing here. So, listen, I think SoundHound will play around, get to a $15 mark here very soon and keep it. Maybe sooner than later. Maybe I'm totally off about this, but what I'm seeing right now is that, listen, a month ago, not a lot of people knew what SoundHound was. I think there was I know I was talking about SoundHound on YouTube, but I think there may have been a few other people, but my projection for SoundHound was that going into next year, SoundHound would turn into a $15 to $20 stock. And now with this huge push here, with these deals that it's got, and the Nvidia situation, all that, SoundHound is really progressing into this double-digit number here aggressively. So, it's really unknown where we're going right now. And SoundHound still is not a company where it's totally out of debt. It's not out of the weeds when it comes to having debt, cash flow, all that. But it is projected to have a very nice 2025. That's why a lot of people are highly speculative of paying attention to it. I can't talk tonight. Paying attention to what's going on here with SoundHound, because they don't want to let it get away from them. And that's totally understandable. That's why it's moving aggressively here. But I am curious to see a pullback here in SoundHound. But with that too, I wouldn't be too naive to think that SoundHound's going to go back to like a $6 to $5 range. I think those numbers are probably bye-bye. I mean, you'll have to take a terrible day in the market. And frankly, I just don't know that we're going to get a terrible day in the market like that anytime soon. I don't know. It's hard to imagine that I've been yapping that I expect some pullback here in the last few weeks of the market here for 2024, but I don't know that it'll be that aggressive. Okay, I just don't know. And if SoundHound kept keeping this momentum, this desire with investors, it's going to be hard to really see SoundHound take some, keep a single digit number stock price here. I don't know that's going to happen. So if it falls to $10 to $12 here, I think it's just going to get ate up again. I think people are going to swoop in here and they're going to keep buying it, because I know a lot of us, people took profit and they've got profit in it and they're letting it sit there, and they're going to, when it falls back to 13, 12, 11, 10, 9 if it can, maybe they're going to swoop back in and they're going to start to buy up a lot of it. I think that's going to happen here. I really do. But the fact that it held this number today, it was really surprising. Really, I mean, I'm happy for it. This is amazing. But I am curious to see how these numbers progress into this week. It's going to be very interesting. Not to mention the Fed will be talking this week, so we'll see what happens there too. BigBear.ai. Let's talk about BigBear.ai real quick. I know I didn't mention this on the video, but I do want to talk about BigBear.ai too. And I've talked about this stock a lot, but this is another AI stock that's getting a lot of attention right now. And I have made I have made a position in this stock, and I'm continuing a position in this stock. But giving my same speech that I always give, listen, this is a dangerous play right now, okay? So, and listen, when I say that, it's not me like making a bearish video on it, okay? I'm very bullish on it. But you have to understand, just because I'm making a position in this doesn't mean you should. You know, I'm taking a little bit of funds here or there and putting into it because I'm trying to make a heavy position in the stock going into maybe later in this year into 2026. This company, I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to lie. This is a dangerous play because there's nothing guaranteed that this stock could really pop this year and give you massive returns at the moment. Now, this could change. Who knows? AI stocks right now are famous for just capturing one huge deal that changes the whole trajectory of the company. So, that happened with SoundHound this year. SoundHound at the beginning of 2024 was $1 stock, and then just all this stuff just started to happen, and that's why it's where it's at right now. So with BigBear.ai here, this is a company that has a lot of debt. They don't have a lot of money in the bank account to play around with. They've got one nice big juicy deal with the government. They have worked with Palantir. Palantir knows them. They have a relationship, and they are doing something very unique and very good. The main thing there, just to break this down as simple as possible, a black and white picture here, is just that we're wanting to see if BigBear.ai here can continue to capture deals this year. Just keep their stock above $1, $2 would be very nice, and pay off debt. I think that's what a lot of us are hoping for at this point. If we can do that at least into the summer with BigBear.ai here, I think that would be a very that'd make a lot of us feel more comfortable. Okay, so I usually don't tell people when I invest in companies that are like this, that have debt, that aren't guaranteed. I usually don't talk about it on my YouTube channel. I don't mention it, okay? Because I don't want people to make decisions based off what I'm doing, okay? I know just because I'm talking about the stock and I'm saying I made a position in it, people are going, well, I should do that. If you have money to burn and set on fire, you have capital to do this, sure, do what you want to do. But this is a risk right now. It's a risk. 100% it's a risk because I can't guarantee, I can't guarantee your safety with any stocks, of course, but, especially with this one because there's so much of this company has to pull off this year. But if they can do it, this could be a very, very lucrative situation here, later on this year. That's what I'm thinking. If this company can at a minimum close their stock price at $5 to $6 range here in 2025, I would consider that a win, especially if I could just keep buying this all year at these low prices and hold it into a position where they pay off a lot of debt. They get some big contracts. They work with another big AI company, something like that. Something what we've seen SoundHound do this year. Very very similar to that kind of situation. Okay, DJT here. Let's just wrap this up with DJT. Talk about this real fast. Trump media. My thought process has not stopped on this stock. A lot of people ask me to talk about it and give up give a 2-day mindset where I'm at with this stock. My mind has not changed what I'm going to do here. So the situation with that is that I more than likely I am going to the inauguration is Monday, January 20th. Okay, well that day in particular, that's Martin Luther King Day. It's Monday. The markets close regardless of the inauguration. Okay, week prior, I'm expecting this stock to run. Okay, I think the stock will be trading at a minimum of $38 to $45 that week. I think minimum that's what this stock will do. Now, let's talk about that Friday before the inauguration, market closing up that day. I think the stock could have huge potential that day. Okay, let's fast forward to January 21st. Okay, Trump's president, inauguration done, everything's swell, market's going freaking ballistic. DJT at that point could be doing the biggest numbers it's ever seen. And this is strictly just FOMO. It's hype. People are like, oh my God, the stock's getting pushed. Sharks are in the water, chum, and they're just pushing. Now, in that situation, you have to understand that you need to take profit when you take profit where you can. I mean, it's going to be like shoulder to shoulder, and you're going to be like, I don't know what to do. Don't get stuck buying this stuff at if this stuff runs to $60-$70, I mean personally, I am not going to buy this at $60-$70. I am going to tell you right now, if you want to be a part of this situation, listen, right now this stock is holding a $35 position, which is insane to me because I did not think the stock was going to hold this high of a number going into December. I was completely wrong with this stock. For one of the first times, I was completely wrong about this stock. I thought I knew this stock, but it turned itself on me a little bit. I thought this stock was going back down to the low 20s. I thought it was going back down to 18, 15, maybe on a really bad day. But the market in general is just really, just completely done a 180. And DJT here has just kept its position. I mean, it is building walls here up to a $40 position, just minimum. So it's a very exciting situation to where maybe by the end of December, this stock could be playing around 38 to 40 from what it looks like. I mean, it's not, people are not giving up their spots. I mean, literally, you're watching a line be set up right now, and the longer the line gets, it gets more expensive at this point. But people that showed up here 2-3 weeks ago, they're holding these $30 range, $31 range. Some of you are in at the $28 range. Some of you are back still at $25 range. So with that, I suspect that this January week here, before the 20th, after the 20th, it's going to be some heavy numbers in this stock. Now, with that, those are opportunities to, for God's sakes, take profit. Take profit. And like I said, I personally will not be buying this stock at $60, $70, $80 because we could see those numbers. I'm not saying we're going to, but if this stock was ever going to do that, this is the moment right now. Now with that, probably by February or at the end of the week of the inauguration here, January 25th, even the 24th, we could see mass sell-off here, probably will, in DJT, because people will take their earnings, they'll take their winnings, they're going to put them over here, there, whatnot. And then after that, I somewhat think the stock will sell back down to around $25 to $30, maybe mid-30s, who knows. But I am a little suspicious that this stock will hold a high number, a high double-digit number here, most of 2025. I say that because I think the Trump train is so thick in the air right now that, it's just going to hold it. I really do think that the stock will, and I'm not even basing this off like quarterly's earning, their earnings, their deals. I'm not even talking about that. Like people don't care about that. I think the stock is going to continue to be highly manipulated all year, pushed around, shoved into crazy numbers, push back down, push back up. And obviously too, if you've been in the stock, you've played around with this stock, they halt it. They will halt it. They halt it. So with this slow build up too, I'm a little suspicious that we're just seeing a slow build up here where investors are like, okay, we're just going up. They're not looking. Just keep going. They're not looking. Keep going. Keep going. They're not looking. Keep going. And then by inauguration, it's like, oh, would you look at that? We're at $55. Keep going. They're not looking. And then we're 65. Okay, keep going. And then we're 75. Keep going. They're not looking. They're not looking. And then, this is how we're going to get to a $75 to $80 range. Could that happen? I'm suspicious that it could. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But that's kind of where I'm thinking this stock will go and what might happen here. So Friends, listen, you got to make a decision with this stock probably pretty soon, okay? It's probably, I'm not seeing sell-off right now with it, okay? You know, I have been completely, after the election here, I have been completely wrong about this stock. I'm eating crow. I will tell you, I thought this stock was going to bleed down to like a low $20 range. It is not. People are not giving up their positions in this stock. They're just not. People are buying more. They want more, and because they know what's coming. If there was ever a party with this stock, it's coming here in about 4 weeks. We're about to see things get crazy with the stock. Friends, I wish you all the well. I'm going to shut up now. It's Monday, going in Tuesday. We'll see what happens here in this week. Like I said, Jerome, the Feds will be talking this week, so we'll see what that brings into the market. But either way, good stocks, good positions, and that's what matters here the most. Friends, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.